Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we will be installing a domain controller, promoting a domain controller on operating system 2008 R2 Service Pack 1. Promoting a domain controller will include preparing OS for the domain controller, in which we will be renaming the machine and we will be assigning a static IP address. Moving on, once we have the machine renamed and IP address assigned, we will go ahead and run the DC promo wizard, in which we will see the option to whether to go with the new forest or being in existing domain and add a new domain controller. We'll also see where do we set up the directory service restore more password, and we'll also have a look what kind of file does DC promo wizard create, and what all files are required are created when we promote a domain controller, any machine, to a domain controller. Finally, we will move on to the post checks of the domain controller, in which we will see, we will open the Active Directory, users and computer console, sites and services console, domain and trust console, and last but not the least, DNS console, which will confirm for us that the machine has been promoted as a domain controller. So let's start. So we have this machine. It's a 2008 R2 Service Pack 1 operating system. Let's see if we have a IP address assigned to this operating system. So we have an IP address which is assigned to this operating system, and let's see what is the host name of this machine. So as far as prerequisites are concerned, we are good. We have a host name and an IP address assigned to this. Let's now begin with the DC promo wizard. Let's wait while the wizard is loading. It has loaded. So in this welcome screen, we will simply press next. It will give some compatibility information. So over here, we have an option to either go with existing forest and add a domain controller, or we can create a new domain in an existing forest that will be called as a child domain. So existing forest, going with an existing forest setup is not an option for us because we are deploying a first domain controller. It will be a root domain controller. So we will select this option, create a new domain in a new forest. Select next. We will give it a name. Since it is a lab, we can give it any name, such as exhlab.com. We will select the forest functional level as 2008 R2. It will be a DNS server, and by default it will be a global catalog server, and it cannot be a read-only domain controller because it's the first domain controller in the environment or the network. This is a warning. You can pause the video and go through it, read it. You can simply click on yes. These are some important files that are created while promoting a domain controller. First one is the Ntds file. This is the database, the Active Directory database file, and this is the sysvol folder. So these three location files and folders are very important for the Active Directory database management. Because of these files, the Active Directory management is a central management, um, centrally managed database, because these files are shared across the domain controllers. This is the this is where we set up the directory service restore more password. Whenever we require, for example, if we want to perform a restore of Active Directory, be it authoritative or non-authoritative, we would require this password. So it could be authoritative and non-authoritative restore of domain the Active Directory. So whenever we do that, we will use this password, whatever we set here. Whatever the configuration we have specified for the Active Directory or the domain controller, it will summarize over here on this page. We can export these settings and use it for unattended mode of promotion. So we'll click next here. Now it will install the Active Directory domain services and all the required services it depends on. So we'll pause the video. In the meantime, once it is completed, we will resume the video. DC promo has been completed successfully. Now we'll restart the machine domain controller. Server is back up online. Now let's log into the server, and this takes us to the last segment of the video, which is the post check, in which we will open certain consoles and verify if they are installed properly. So let's verify the promotion of the domain controller. This is the Active Directory users and computer console. Let's open domain and trust, sites and services, DNS, so Yes, we have completed a domain controller promotion. This server is now a domain controller. By default, it creates a default first site which will have this domain controller in it, and whatever more domain controllers we will add in future, it will be listed under this server container, and it will also have a replica like this. So that's it for this video. I hope uh, I was able to explain you how do we promote a domain controller. If you like this video, please do like it, click on like, subscribe to my channel, and we'll meet soon.